All right. Welcome to Alive and Streaming. Ted here. It's been a while. It's because of all this touring and stuff. So give me 1 minute because I got these Bay Area Interthashional people texting me. So just give me a minute here. But it's good to see all you guys. Pretty raw, pretty unedited. All right. Thanks, guys, for waiting. Thank you for joining. Before I get started here, I just want to give a birthday shout out to my man, our man, your man, Rob Cavastani. Today is his birthday. Go to his socials, greet him a happy birthday. Awesome dude. If it wasn't for Rob, there wouldn't be no Death Angel. So there you go. Happy birthday, Rob. I hope you have a good day. Now, before we get into this stuff, I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to say that this episode is going to be Bay Area Interthashional, supergroup from the Bay Area. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. They are playing the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco tonight. Pre-sales are sold out, but today at around 12:30, they're going to release some tickets online and 100 tickets, but 50. Then at 4:30, they're going to release the next 50. So if you're in the Bay Area, come out, check it out. It's going to be awesome. And I got to see him. We got to see him in Dynamo Metal Fest in Holland this past August. Rob, Mark, and Will played with him. It was awesome. I got to watch from the festival crowd. It was great. So let me see if I could bring somebody in here from the Bay Area Interthashional. See if I got him. All right. Let's see. All right. There he is. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's everyone. It's Craig LaCicero.
Yeah.
You know who Craig is? His current band, Rest the Dead, Ex Forbidden, so many other projects, boneless ones and whatnot. Craig, thank you very much for joining in. Can you hear me?
Oh man, that's nice. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
I could hear you great, man. I could hear you great.
No,
Good.
I was saying it was a real nice surprise to have you give me a ring and say you wanted to do this today. I was like, oh, cool, man. It's like, right now they're setting the stage upstairs, so it's a pretty good timing. And a couple guys are about to come down in a minute here.
Cool.
So
cool.
we're gonna be joined by a few.
Cool. Now that I have you, before we get into the show tonight, because I know there's gonna be some stuff going on that it's gonna be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go back a little bit. When was the seed planted for Bay Area Interthashional? When did this all happen?
Well, it was very unsuspecting. I didn't have any idea it was coming, but the organizers of Dynamo Metal Fest, which is, obviously a offshoot of Dynamo Open Air, which we all used to play back in the day. Not directly, it's a descendant of it from the fans that used to go to there. They used to go to the old Dynamos. Our buddy Andre is kind of retired his end of it a long time ago. So, but they reached out to me and they said for 2019, it probably was about April or May of 2019, before the world went fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Totally.
I got a Facebook message from Jarek, who's the main guy with Paul, and he's like, yeah, I was hoping maybe you would be interested in doing a Bay Area thrash, some sort of tribute. And my immediate reaction was, oh, that sounds really unspectacular as that sits. I was like, oh, I don't know. But I said, well, let's just do this. Let's have me go to Europe, and if you can, fly me out, I can take a look at your new setup, because I didn't know what that Dynamo was really about yet. I hadn't seen it. I knew it was smaller, but that's by design. I knew it was more personal by design, and they didn't want it. They never want that thing to get to. I knew certain things. They weren't going to let it turn into 80,000 people and only 10,000 are paying attention, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, which is nothing wrong with big festivals, but that is the case a lot. So yeah, they flew me out. I checked it out, and as I was sitting there watching, I can't remember what it was. It was probably watching Armored Saint who 30 years ago I played with Forbidden, played with Armored Saint and Sabotage and Sacred Reich there. I had the idea, wouldn't it be cool if you had the guys from these bands come in and play, but no one could play their own song? Everyone had to stretch out a little bit and dig deep and learn other people's techniques, learn other people's ways of their craft, you know? And that sounded really cool and intriguing in my head. And that's what I agreed to do the next year. So I started reaching out to guys from the different bands, and they were getting interested in doing it. And we were planning on coming in 2020. And as you know, it was about the end of February 2020, everything went fucking haywire. And so it didn't happen, and then we thought it was going to happen in 2021, and we got ready both times. We started to get ready and we were starting to do our work, and it didn't happen either time. So it finally happened in 2022. Now it's reverse history. It went down, and it went way better than we thought it would go as far as the crowd reaction to it. So much so that people from all over Europe have traveled to this destination tonight. We got, I think, over 30 people I counted coming in from other countries that told me. They're the ones that told me. So I don't know how many other people, but people bought tickets like the first day, made their travel plans as soon as they heard, so it's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, man. I bet. I mean, this project is probably a big undertaking for you. I mean, because having to rehearse with all your core members, trying to get guests, and we witnessed it at the Dynamo Metal Fest this past August, and I was watching from the crowd. I had a great time, but my hat's off to you, dude. I mean, that was a big undertaking. Plus, you had your band Dressed to Dead as well.
I did. I was doubling down, as they say in Vegas. And I've learned a lot, Ted. I've learned a lot about what people can expect. I learned a lot about how you have to kind of change your parameters in the moment. You can't just settle on it. If you have an idea in your head that this is exactly how it's going to be and these people are going to be there, shit happens. People can't always be there. So we have our core, we have our core guys. We have, my core drummers of Cantos and Hernandez, Chris Cantos and Mark Hernandez, core bass players of Matt Camacho and Harold Lowe, core guitar players of Steve Smythe, core singer of Norman Skinner, who's a major talent people are going to see tonight. Like, if people haven't seen Skinner sing before, they're going to be fucking blown away, So those are the guys I can count on that will be at practices, And then there's everyone else that started coming in. Your drummer Will has been a huge plus, and we're bonding over this experience ourselves. We had a really good talk last night, and just, yeah, man, I feel the camaraderie is outweighing anything in this whole process, and I don't think anybody quite understands how much work gets done, except for myself and Tim, behind the scenes, but that's not really their concern. Everyone's got a massive amount to do behind the scenes. Everyone does their own thing to make it happen. You're not making a pile of money. You're doing this because you love music. You're doing this because this is what we grew up loving. These are the influences, the confluence of influences that brought us here. And before we're too old, it was time to get it done, like, fuck it. We already did it in Europe. Let's do one here in the States. So that's where we're at.
And that's awesome, because I think you did it right. I mean, Holland's always a good home for Bay Area Thrash. What a way to start it off, by doing it at the Dynamo Metal Fest. Now you're doing it in the Bay Area. That's the two places I think that it works right for me.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
You're absolutely right, Ted. And that is, I think people are not everybody. Most people don't really care how the sausage gets made, and it's not their business. But I think there's also a misnomer that we're trying to be, another franchise or something like. It's just way too much fucking work for that, dude. This is a labor of love for all of us involved.
Yeah.
And you feel that when you're in the room with the rehearsals. Like last night and the day before that, we were in SIR in San Francisco. We've been staying here, and just because there's so much commuting for us, and we're staying at a hotel around the corner. We're everything, but just the amount of smiles and bonding and love and selflessness, and waiting your turn, You know, some guys don't show up on time, so you got to move shit around. You got to be understanding of that, or else you're going to be like, when's my fucking turn? So there's all this, you know, different
hurry up and wait.
factors that go into it, you know?
Hurry up and wait. That's how it is, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. But when you guys, before you guys head out to Dynamo, what made you pick the set list? Because it was a great set list. I mean, but plus there's a whole bunch of other songs that I'm sure people wanted to hear, but why that specific list?
What I was trying to mostly do, and it stuck to it, for the 11 out of 12 songs were all first record songs from, you know, Metallica, Exodus, Testament, Megadeth, you know, and of course, Death Angel, Slayer, and Forbidden Violence. I think I named all of them. And it was trying to just, you know, really start with the origins of each band. And the only song we played 2 songs from a band's second record, and that was Ride the Lightning. We did Creeping Death, and we did Fight Fire with Fire. And that was it. We wanted to kind of keep it all about just those particular, you know, just the origin. I mean, origins is what it really started as. So even tonight, it's not quite sitting in that pocket. We venture out of that a little bit, but there's no song that goes any further back than Hi Tim doing an interview. Yes, I need, can you get Phil Demmel down here, please? Sure. And see if Chris Contos wants to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on with Ted right now. Sorry.
It's okay.
They're
Is that Tim Healy?
Too.
Is that Tim
He
Healy?
just walked away.
All right.
So, oh yeah. Yeah, that look like, I forgot you were supposed to do this. But we kept it, you know, we're just trying to keep it like either their original thrash stuff or the very beginning of what influenced the thrash movement, right? So that's kind of where we're going. And today's like 3 sets, so it's like 36 songs. I believe it's 36 or 35. And we're doing an American thrash metal set for everybody but the Bay Area. And then we're doing not European, an international one, which covers, you know, the Americas, North and South, and Europe. And then we're doing the Bay Area one last.
Wow. Now, let's get into the show tonight. Congratulations on the selling out all the pre-sale tickets. And I just mentioned earlier before I got you on, there's only a limited amount of tickets left for tonight, right?
Very limited. Yeah, I think, well, we decided from the beginning we were going to hold back 100. So can you hear it? Is there noise in the background? Or are we good?
We're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we held back 100 on purpose. You know, we wanted to make sure that the people, because a lot of people just assume it won't sell out. I can buy it later. So we held back 100, and we're gonna. And they went on sale right now. The ones that you can get online at the Great American site, they're on sale now. And once those are gone, they're gonna have a few more at the door tonight. And at least, I think we're gonna keep at least 50 for the door. So probably doing 50 and 50. So it'll be sold out. It'll be sold out.
I think it's gonna be sold out. I mean, after the Dynamo performance, after seeing that stuff online, man, it was great, man. I really enjoyed watching from the crowd how you guys took it on. Randy Blythe doing Fight Fire with Fire was amazing. Your guys' rendition of Voracious Souls was awesome.
Tricky song, man. Tricky song. See,
Dude.
But that's what it's about, Ted. It's hard for people to understand. Some guys in metal bands don't like the idea of learning other people's shit and digging in like that. And for some, for good reasons, and other times they're just like, they don't have that foresight to know that that's really gratifying. So playing in front of you guys, pulling that song off in front of you guys to the best of our ability was the biggest thrill, other than singing with Randy and singing with Mark. I mean, they were the moments, you know what I mean? Like that was just looking over and seeing you guys smiling was fucking epic, you know. I think you were out in the audience, but
I was out in the audience. I mean, I was talking about it with Capson. I go, the only thing they did really cool on Brace Your Souls that we don't do is you guys get into the clean tone. Is that Phil Demmel?
Hey man, what's up, Ted? It is.
How are you guys doing? Everyone, please welcome the man, Phil Demmel of many bands.
Yeah, he's like, good luck with that. Yeah. There's a lot coming. There's a lot of ands going on there.
Not the man, just a man.
Man,
That's right.
How is it?
how are you, Phil?
Good, man. Good. Very excited.
It's funny how you just walked in because we were just talking about Voracious Souls and you killed it on the solo, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, the second one. That's the fun one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all fun. All Rob solos are fucking great.
Yeah, Rob has a unique style, which, by the way, it's his birthday today.
That's right. Happy birthday, Rob Cavasad.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
And that's why you can pretty much not expect him to be here today.
You
He told
never
me from
know.
the beginning, he's like, dude, I think your show's on my birthday.
You never know,
Sure,
man.
he's
Rob, he pulls some surprises. You know, you never know. He might just show up. But Phil, you're doing Bay Area Thrash. This is awesome, man. Did Craig throw you like 10 songs that you could like learn in a day?
No, man. I mean, some of them that like a song like, well, one of the songs, I guess I shouldn't be talking about the songs you're playing, right? Maybe not.
We can hint.
Yeah.
We know the artists that are.
There was a Sabotage song that I used to cover back in 1983 or 84 with one of my high school bands. So I was pretty familiar with that. I'm glad Craig he's got this awesome effects set up. You know, he's trying to get all the tones. So, you know, he's being super anal about having everything sound exactly right. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Chris Salinas is like a huge influence for both of us. And see, that's the thing. We're doing songs that aren't necessarily all thrash per se, but they're major benchmark influences on us that kind of bled into what we did. So we're trying to hit some of those. Can't hit them all, but we're trying to hit a few of them.
Dude, I have a deep question I've been thinking about now that I have both of you on here. I know back in the day, and it's always been documented, that Violence and Forbidden were rivals at some point. But now that you're older and you look past it, looking past it, do you guys have like a lot of love and mutual respect for each other and each other's work?
Yeah, that's all growing. That's all mutual fucking admiration. I mean, I've always had deep respect for Violence, and he knows this. We've talked about it. We actually have talked about this. I've gone to his house a couple weeks ago, sat down, worked on songs. My whole point of view on all of that stuff is that when we were younger, you really don't have it's like you don't have the peripheral vision. You're very fucking centered on what you see in front of you, and you don't like widen it out as you do when you get older. So my point of view on all this stuff has really grown a lot, and it's been a pleasure, working with him and working with, I have no beefs with anybody, dude. I'm too old for that shit. I don't fucking care anymore about any of that. I love people until they shit on me, and then I just don't deal with them. I don't hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's got his own thing.
It took me a minute. It took me a minute, Ted. Back in the day, I think that, of course, with certain individuals in Violence comes this very extreme feeling towards everything. And so, especially back in the day, I think that I was kind of the guy in the middle of five. I was, I don't want to get too deep into anything. Me and Craig, especially at the Dynamo Festival, there was some things that I needed to let go of. And, I don't want to get into details, but Craig and I are, in the best place that we've ever been, I feel. And there's always been a respect for the playing, for the talent, for the songwriting. I think a mutual respect in that sense. We're two different bands. I mean, two totally different bands in a scene where you're kind of viewed as the same. And I think that, without delving into too much particulars, we were totally different. They're super melodic, and we were one-dimensional, straight ahead
face ripping.
Face ripping. So there shouldn't be any comparison in the two.
No, you guys are totally two different styles. I mean, I would call Violence like serial killer metal, This is what it is. Forbidden was like ahead of the game with the technical shit, and I think a lot of the prog stuff today I think Forbidden had a big influence on that, But being young and back then, I mean, it made for great music. All the tension and all the rivalry made for good music, I think. So I kind of look at that as a positive thing.
Well, it is all positive now. It's only positive if you, like I said, you widen your perspective and you fucking learn about yourself a little bit and learn You know, I mean, I used to make all kinds of mistakes and say stupid things and didn't have a filter in my head. And I don't know, after a few years of being married, maybe having a kid, you know, my life changing, like the failures of the industry, you know, whatever mistake. I've actually learned from my fucking mistakes along the way. And I'm sure he can say the same thing. And we're both family men. We both are, you know, love our fucking families and our extended families. And, you know, I mean, but you got to remember the origins of that drama really didn't come into play until Rob joined Violence. And for me personally, as a kid, as the fucking 16-year-old kid, I couldn't process that. It didn't process to me. So that's where my, like, I'm not really knowing how to deal with that, because I looked up to Rob so much as he's a couple years older. He kind of showed me, you know, how to play in a certain way. Like, you know, he was a deep influence on me as a kid. So that's where it all kind of started with me. And, you know, he has probably his own point of view on that, but it's not really worth delving in too much. I think we kind of hit it, but it is relevant. It's
because
there.
we had beef with everybody, Ted.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
Death Angel beef.
Yeah, I remember Death Angel violence, Forbidden Violence. I remember I had you on my stream. I said, "Man, back in the day, Perry was a dick."
You said that, or I said that?
I said that, and you go, "Yeah, I could see that." You know.
Yeah,
but,
I could see that. He'd admit that too.
Yeah, but
he was a bull in a china shop for sure, and he definitely was also the guy that I knew best in the band and hung out with most until it happened. You know, I mean, I smoked a lot of pot with Perry. You know, we burned a lot of pot, had a lot of laughs. You know, and then we just kind of split our own ways.
But I think it's really cool. Like, I mean, like going back a little bit, all your rivalries and the paths you chose separately led you back to where you are now, celebrating thrash metal. I think it's kind of cool.
It is fun, cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think that the way that it aligned at the Dynamo Festival with me being there with Lamb of God playing and being able to, you know, as granted, the songs that I learned other than Voracious were songs that I kind of knew. So that was easier. And being there and being a part of it, that's why I said I couldn't, you know, I needed to talk with Craig before we went on stage together and had this big bro down. You know, I wanted to make sure that we were bros before that happened and clear a lot of that. So when he said he was having something here, you know, I think it's a pretty well-known fact that I'm always down to jam and play on some tunes with whoever, you know, but Craig has given me, I said, whatever you need me to do, whatever, you know, whatever's open and whatever I fit and whatever you feel you want me to. So he threw me a slew of songs and, you know, some that I weren't familiar with. And so it's been fun, you know, getting into, we're playing standard tuning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love, you know, the guitars just want to be in that tuning.
They do.
You know?
It's almost like they were made to be in that tuning, right? Like when they designed
science,
them, this is the length and the distance from here to here, and you should probably play in this tuning. So, but you know, just to put a fine point on this whole thing with like now how things are now, and I gotta say, when I see, you know, Phil, Sean, Zetro, you know, Gary, anybody that went through what we all went through as young men and kids and young men, and we're like together, there's like a subliminal striking a chord to me where I look at us all like we're survivors. Did so many of our friends pass away?
Yep.
So many musicians just gave up and became jaded. You know, so many people. So when we're doing this, it's like there's a camaraderie here. That come on in, man. There's a camaraderie here that's growing and growing compared to as it was in the back of the day. Look who I got here. And he'll tell you all about it.
Let's go way back. It's Chris Contos from Verbal Abuse, everyone. Chris Contos.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So wait a minute. Violence. Oh, you weren't in the band at the time, I don't think.
But I was a roadie
for the weird San Francisco show.
At the
you were there too. You played too.
At the old church theater off by Cat Street.
I'm gonna push this back a little bit so you can get.
It was Violence, Verbal Abuse,
Forbidden Evil,
and Forbidden Evil,
and
Bacchus.
Oh my
God! I was actually roadieing for Cujo at that time. He had the big bubblegum pink drum set.
Oh right.
Everybody was tripping. Everybody was tripping on his purple or his big pink drum set.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, please welcome Chris Contos. Hi, Chris.
Uh,
How you doing, Chris?
Good, man. It was great in LA, dude. I had so much fun hanging with you, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. It was a fun one. Tour's over. We're done for a bit. So
Yeah, you guys were definitely crispy.
oh, thanks. Hey,
Yeah.
it's because of Tilo, and I heard Tilo's doing your sound tonight.
Yes.
We got the magic hands up there.
You got the magic hands. Hey, before I get into things with Chris and everyone, Phil Demmel, someone sent a video question for you.
Oh shit.
Let's check it out. I'll play it for you.
Joe Ted, what's up, my friend? This is Angel. The times we have back in Florida. Hey, since you have the Bay Area International players there, I have one question for my friend Phil. Phil, what's up, my man? This is for you. How do you feel to be the top guy, the go-to guy, when a band needs someone to fill in? I mean, you know everything. You done Slayer. You did Lamb of God as a bass player and a guitar player. I mean, you're the man. And in that same train of thought, it is easy for you to learn those songs in a short period of time. I mean, you can do it. So take care, the both of you. See you soon, my friends.
That's Angel from
Angel,
Costa Rica.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he took me to pick up a Roberto Clemente jersey when I was down there.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
I had to wear one on stage.
There you go,
Fuck
Phil.
yeah.
There's his question for you.
You know, that's not easy. Learning the songs it's not easy. And it's you know, there are so many better players. There are so many other people that could step in. I think it helps that I know these people and I'm like a familiar entity, like they know what they get with me. So I think it might be more a testament to getting along with me. You know, it's been a challenge doing all the different gigs, but I think that if anybody, Chris, you got to play with Metallica tomorrow. You're going to learn 19 songs. You know, Craig, you got to play with fucking Merciful Fate tomorrow. And we would do it. I mean, we're cut from the same cloth. I don't think that it was, you know, it's very flattering. It's very cool to hear, you know, you said, hey, it's the man and he's the man, you know, I'm a man. We are men. We're not the anything. We're just, you know, I'm just happy to be able to be playing guitar and hanging with my bros.
I think it's both. I think it's both that Phil does have the talent and he does have the personality to people like him.
And you know, something
Really like him.
something I found out when I tried to get into session work, you know, like doing Nashville or just being a session guy, like a Josh Freese or, you know, Questlove or whatever, or Tony Royster Jr. What happens is the work gets done and then the reputation of nails it starts to happen, right? So it's almost a closed door for drummers at this point, because there is about a list of like 10 guys that producers trust, musicians trust, that they can sight read, they can come in, get it fucking done, and then watch the Grammys and go, wow, I played on 7 of these nominated songs. You know what I mean? It's like,
credit, but
and
they
so
paid a lot. Yeah.
as Phil would jump up with bands, everyone got kind of kicked off, you know, where you know, all of a sudden you were up there jamming, was it Changer?
Yeah.
At the Rock House, or what was that place down in San Jose or something?
I was there. We played that night.
Yeah. So like, as that started to happen, I think the reputation started to mount on itself, and people were like, Phil's got it, and it's great. And you're super humble, and you know, you are close to the music too. That's another thing. It's like the closer you are to the music, the better chance you have of like grabbing it, understanding the vibe. And Phil, you pull that. You definitely fucking pull that, man.
The whole Slayer thing was kind of a urban legend, the Fish story, you know, like how to Fish, it was this big. It's how he had 19 songs in 3 days and it became 25 songs in 2 days. And you learned 30 songs in
On the plane.
5 hours. On the plane
Yeah.
was accurate. You know, I played the last Machine Head show on a Saturday night. Not less than 24 hours the next day, my wife's waking up from a hangover and I'm going, oh yeah, Carrie needs me in fucking Germany in 2 days, you know. I pick up all my stuff from Machine Head on the Monday. I'm on a plane Tuesday before I've learned a song. So I spent the 12 hours on the plane mapping out not even playing, you know, just mapping it all out.
I'm going to step aside for a second. Someone else is coming in.
All right. All right.
That's it. You know, it was on the plane. So there you go. I think, but what I'm saying is, I think that kind of spurred everything on. Hey, he can learn the tunes. He went up and played well. You know, I played like my career depended on it because it actually did. So
we got Harold
thanks,
O
Slayer.
here. We got Harold O. Hello, Harold.
Look at Harold.
You
Oh.
guys get it. I'm out. Love you, Ted.
All right, love you, Phil. I'll see you tonight. I got Chris Contus and Harold O. Now, let me guys ask you something. You can't, if you want to give out a song or two, that's cool. But when you played some of these songs and relearn them, have you sat down like after learning them and go, what the hell were they thinking? It's so bad.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. There's a couple songs in the set that are just like, it's very clear that 16 and 17-year-old people wrote these songs back in the day, you know? And you're like, what the extra hell is that? You know, or okay, we're gonna double the verse here for no reason this time and play that one thing 3 times, not twice.
Especially you guys too.
Yeah, Death Angel songs, dude, are just like, you know, when I came in to play with Death Angel, it was just like, wow, you know the songs, but then man, when it's your hands transposing, you're like, damn, okay, this is some shit. I mean, everybody was so crazy talented at such a young age here.
Yeah.
And even that goes straight through Metallica and everybody, that we were just so fucking juiced and so pumped up on Maiden and Priest and, you know, all the, you know, the new wave of British heavy metal that was happening, that the standard was set. So like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds were writing maniacal fucking crazy fucking
Maniacal.
crazy fucking shit. We can't really give up songs because we want to just keep it a secret, but there are a couple songs for me where I was fucking brain farting until last night. You know, I was just not remembering that it's 3 or it's twice and then you double it or whatever, you know? So it's been fun. Last night was fucking amazing. Everybody stepped up. I think that, here we go, that pro charge kind of went through everybody, you know, and it really came together. I think everybody played extremely well last night.
Yeah, the day before the show. One comment about that, when we did the Sean Killian thing a couple years ago, that was something where everybody seemed to be a little surprised how difficult some of that violent stuff was to play.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I'll let me interject here. I mean,
oh yeah, you were there too. Duh.
Before, I guess I have a different perspective than most of you because early on in the 80s when I started going to shows, I'm a fan of the Bay Area. So I was in the pit, I was stage diving, I was buying the shirts, I was doing it all while you guys were on stage playing. So having to go back and play it, I have like me and Will would go, whoa, dude, it's intense, you know, because I mentioned Rivalry and all that. I wasn't a part of that whole scene. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a part of the crowd and me and Will trying to form our own band. Now that we're playing some of this stuff, it feels killer. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Like something like Seemingly Endless Time from Death Angel. When we play that live, it takes me back to, sometimes I daydream. I go, I remember watching that on MTV. You know, I have a different look on it as when you guys were like playing with each other, and you know, you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it was a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Even though everybody wanted to one up the other.
It got a little juicy, but it was big. It was a little bit big time wrestling too at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Me and Gene, when we get a hold of fucking Death Angel tonight, we're gonna destroy them. You know, that whole thing. It was all fun banter. You know.
But everybody had to like compete to get those few gigs, right?
Yeah, only so many Saturdays and Fridays, man.
You know, there was friendly competition.
Hey, we got Norman Skinner here, man.
Yep, I heard. I heard he's gonna do some vocals tonight.
Killing it, dude. Just killing it. Pulling an MVP pretty much at this point, man.
You know, I
He's
saw
doing
some
more melodic type stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away.
I saw some photos. I saw some photos from the rehearsal. It looks cool. It looks like you guys look like you preparing for a stadium tour. The way you guys had everything set up at rehearsals. You know what I mean?
Oh, we are, man.
Oh yeah.
This is a stadium as far as I'm concerned. 80,000 at least up there tonight. You need to get in. Should I put it on the list?
I'm in, and I
I
bought a
think so.
ticket just to buy a ticket. You know what I mean? Got to support the cause.
Oh,
what a guy.
What a guy.
I bought
You got to
6
make the money.
myself.
You got to make the money go around. You know how are we going to survive? How are we going to survive doing this if you don't make the money go?
No
around?
doubt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I snuck in the back. They didn't see me. So,
Yeah.
But
So not to change the subject, but how's it feel to be home, Ted? After all your Bay Strikes Back
it
stuff,
feels
Ted?
good.
I'm gonna let these two talk real
All right.
quick. I gotta go set up the drums. See you tonight. Fucking
Right on, Chris.
Yeah, I got those drum heads too.
All right, we
Okay.
got
Yes.
we
They're up
got
there, pick up
Harold
the
O
box.
and
Yeah.
Harold O and Norman Skinner. Norman's going to be singing.
Skinner.
How many songs you singing, Norman?
They got me doing 8.
Wow.
They tried to get me to do more, but some of these songs you get a real appreciation for. You listen to them since you're a teenager, but then when you actually have to learn them, you get a real appreciation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's just but
Yeah.
there's some guys that came in, 11th hour that are just picking up the slack and just champs, man, champs. So this is talent.
Going
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to what Harold said, that I think that Killian on Command benefit for Sean Killian, having to learn those violent songs is not easy. I mean, I love listening to him. Like I said, we were in the pit going crazy. Then when he came down to learning it, I was like, whoa, what were Phil and all them were thinking? You know what I mean? You know, Harold, you played.
You find appreciation for that stuff,
Right.
Totally.
And one thing for me is it's like when I joined DRI, it's one thing if you know the songs in your head.
Yeah.
But it's another thing if you've never heard the song before and you have to learn it from scratch and you don't really know the structure. That's a whole other challenge right there,
Yeah,
So
it is. So tonight, the Great American Music Hall, Bay Area
I'm
Interthashional.
back.
I know you guys are
Greatest
doing.
leader.
You guys do an American, European, and Bay Area set. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag with songs.
International, literally.
Yeah.
Not just Europe, but like North America, like Canada, South America, Europe. You do
Now,
the math. There's a lot of possibilities
you
there.
mentioned contests. There's a contest, Halloween contest going on.
Yeah, a couple contests.
Okay, if you could.
One, we have a winner. We offered somebody, whoever won the contest, to send a submission of them singing "Seek and Destroy," and this guy Devin nailed it. And a few people did a great job. I mean, a few people, but you kind of just had to go. Well, obviously, you have to go with the best. But Devin nailed it, so he's going to come to sound check, knock out the song with us at sound check.
Nice.
How did he sound? Did he sound like Hetfield? Or did he
Sound like he sounded like himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but he did the gruff. He had a gruff.
Because I remember back in the day when Metallica were still looking for a singer, when James didn't want to sing, they got a bunch of submissions. What's that?
He didn't sound like Hetfield.
Oh, okay. They got a bunch of
submissions.
submissions from people, and some Joe Rocker guy, random Joe Rocker guy from Idaho, sent Q Prime a tape of him singing, and this guy doing like Vince Neil version of Metallica songs, or let's say a King Diamond version of Metallica song. And it was the guys in the band played me a couple of the tapes, and it was always interesting to hear some of the submissions.
I bet they were probably having a good chuckle about it. But back to the contest.
Sorry.
So we have someone to sing that tonight with us.
Nice.
And we also are having 2 costume contests. One for Paul Bailoff.
Yeah.
And then one for Cliff Burton. So we're going to get those. In the winner of those, there's a guitar that this device is resting on that we all are signing. For each one of them, there's 2 guitars for each winner of those contests.
Nice.
So Dean guitars, for that matter, that Dean gifted us for the occasion.
Awesome. And there's a DJ in between sets, I hear.
Yes, some guy you might know pretty well. You're a former bandmate from another band too, right?
He's actually DJ Bleeding Cream is actually before the show. He's not doing in between. We're doing the contest between.
Okay.
And we're doing him. He's going to do 2 hours because we open the doors 2 hours before showtime. So to assure 2 things: 1, most people get in, if not all, and 2, most people get hammered, if not all. So everyone will be nice and lathered up.
Get your buzz on.
Yeah, get your buzz on, and then you'll be singing along with everything. Because everyone's they're pretty much going to. There might be some songs somebody doesn't like, but from what we've been doing to practice, I think most everybody likes everything. It's like everyone gets excited and cheer each other on. And
There's some pretty deep cuts there too, man.
there are.
Good.
I went a little deep on the cuts, but it wasn't just come on in. it wasn't just me though. We kind of confluenced things. A lot of the set list was brought together by Harold and Chris and myself having a meeting for a couple of weeks, like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, big powwow. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna step out of the way again. I'll move out of the way again. I want to introduce another one in here. Come in here, Matt. He can introduce. You might recognize this guy.
Here, you take the middle spot.
Wow.
I get the middle.
Oh yeah.
Monkey in the middle.
We
need some beauty. In
Look at
here.
that. Look at that rainbow shirt he's got on.
We got Mr. Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey from Exhume, from Gruesome, from so many other bands. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm stoked. I'm having a lot of fun playing some old shit with some old dudes, man.
Yeah.
Are you singing or playing?
In a nutshell. In an old shell.
Are you singing or playing, Matt, or both?
I am doing a little both. There's a couple songs I'm just playing guitar, one song I'm just singing, and then one that one that. It's heavy as fuck too. Oh my god, it is.
That's cool, man. I know you got Matt Harvey from Exhume. He's an old school dude, but is there any other special guests you can mention? I saw like on some stories on Instagram, like some Warbringer dudes are jamming too.
Warbringer, come in.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys. He's talking to you guys.
Okay, well, I've been very. I'm not saying nothing till I hear that I'm allowed to say things. So yes, I'm going to sit back and see what comes up.
Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm out. I'll talk to you in a few, man. Peace
All
out.
right, man.
Yeah, Norman's one of our MVPs because he's singing so much.
And he sounds great.
He sounds fucking amazing.
Yes,
people are gonna freak out when they hear some of his rendition of these songs.
I'm already freaking out. There's Hellfire, right? And
Hellfire, Warbringer, Hatred.
Nice.
The guys in Hatred aren't all one of the singers not around. He's gone right now, which is a shame, Cody. But the other guys are playing with another mixture of musicians, and that sounds fucking awesome. And also Defiance is
right.
Yeah.
How you keep all this straight, man?
I'm gonna have to do it on stage too. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, I got a lot to remember.
All right, I know you guys are busy, and I want to thank you guys for coming in. I'm just gonna ask a couple of things. Craig, do you plan to do any more of this, or this is it?
I've said this is it, and people want us to do it. I mean, it's really a matter of like how much time you can actually devote to it, dude. Because this took so much work to put this many people together. And like I said at the onset of this, like some guys just, they can't make it on when they want to make it, or they have to do something else. So you have to be a constant. You have to bob and weave and be a little bit of an amoeba to pull it off. So I'm not really sure if this show doesn't kill me. In a few more weeks, I'll think about it. We're getting offers in festivals in Europe, but it would have to be a condensed version.
Sure.
And back to what it was when we did the festival. And then just the core bunch of dudes that just travel together. You'd have to do it like that. But what I don't want to do is cheapen it. I don't want to lessen the fact that it's about friendship and really respecting the music and that building that camaraderie. That's really important to me to maintain, and it's real easy to lose it. So at this stage in my life, I'm definitely not greedy, and this is not a show to make money. I'll tell you that. It might end up costing more than we make, who knows? But I can tell you that it's very rewarding from the friendship standpoint and the musical gratification. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm glad it's happening. I can't wait to get out there tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Bay Area Interthashional at the Great American Music Hall tonight. Some tickets are online right now. If they're gone, there's going to be some tickets left at the door around 4:30. Get there early. Doors are at 6. DJ Bleeding Priest is spinning, and these guys are just going to do some intense thrash metal with a bunch of, like you said, friends getting together, having a good time, paying homage to your influences, and bringing in the new cats like Hatred, Warbringer, and all that. I think that's great to kind of like, it's more like passing on the torch type deal. So
yeah, I also said this on the onset. This is more Bay Area inclusive, and we're not trying to bring that many people from other places, and we're putting some new talent, new singers up there that people have never heard of. there's besides Skinner, there's an absolute phenom, 22-year-old kid who sent us another submission of another song that was so good. We're just like, okay, we're going to use this kid, and he's going to be a fucking star. He's got just a fantastic voice. So it's pretty special, man. It's going to be a big family event tonight.
Now, before we leave, we talked. Are you guys filming this event?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a 7-camera shoot.
And is it going to be released, streamed anytime soon, or?
I'm hoping to have it all ready. Yeah, I'm hoping to have it all ready in a few weeks for Thanksgiving. If we don't make it for Thanksgiving, we'll put it out around Christmas.
No,
it all depends how much time it takes to edit it, and we're going to remix it and make sure it sounds good. Tilo's recording it, putting it down the right way, so it's killer. Yeah,
it's going to be great. Everyone, Craig, Matt, Chris, Phil, Norman, Harold, thanks for coming on, dude. I know you guys got a lot of stuff going on with filming and sound check. I will be there around 7-ish.
All right,
and I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy the show from the crowd. I'm looking
that's the best way to enjoy it, for sure.
It is. So everyone, if you're in the Bay Area, if you're listening, surrounding Bay Area cities, go tonight. So it's going to be a special event. Check out everyone having a good time, smiles on their faces, metal pouring out of their veins, and last but not least,
orifices. Metal pouring out of your orifices.
It's just all-star lineup. It's going to be great. So everyone check out. Again, Craig, Matt, and everyone, thanks for joining on the stream. I will see you tonight, and let's have a good time.
Thanks for having us, Ted. Thanks, Ted. Cheers.
All right,
you guys
man.
tonight.
All right. Talk soon, guys. Later.